Hello and a big welcome to everyone who is with me today on this YouTube channel. My name is Marina. I'm a Russian girl living and knitting in New Zealand, and everybody is very welcome here. If you are new to this channel is all about crafts related to yarn and fiber, and I talk a lot about the things that I'm making as well as the things that I see here around New Zealand, and I love to share with you everything that I know. If you are a returning viewer, welcome again, and it's so nice to see you coming back. It means a lot to me. It means the world that you actually come and want to spend some time with me. It makes me very happy, and it makes me very motivated to make more videos for you and hopefully share some inspiration and some new patterns or some new ideas, or just the positive atmosphere that we have for our favorite hobby, which for me is knitting, spinning and yarn dyeing lately. I have also done a little bit of doll making and pottery, which I talk more about in my first episode. So if you are new, be sure to check those out, and if you find it interesting, do subscribe. It means a lot to me, and if you find it interesting. So let's start. There are many things I want to share with you in this video, and I will talk about 3 of my finished objects. Yes, I know it hasn't been very long, but I've been very productive, and I'll tell you why. And I also wanted to tell you a bit more about our life here in New Zealand and the things that we do now that it's springtime and we have lots of opportunities to go out and do things. Us, as a family, my husband and my daughter and our friends. What shall I start with? Usually I start with my finished objects, but today let me tell you what I'm wearing. It's not a recent finished objects, but this is my favorite, by far my favorite knit of this year. And even though last episode I finished a different pullover, I still like this one more, because it's such a lovely merino yarn that stretches and it's super soft. I hand dyed this yarn as well, and this is a pattern by Libby Johnson. It's Floozy 2 sweater, and I'll put the link down below, and if not, if I forgive me. You can find all the information about my knits on my Ravelry page, which is Marina Toys. So today I wanted to talk about 2 pairs of socks that I've done, and the first pair that I want to show you is I finished my Sandy Lagoon socks, or Socktober socks. I don't know how to call them, but I started them on the 1st of October as a knit along organized by Alana from the Lupine and Wool Company, and I knit this very simple 3x1 rib, which continues on the top of the leg here, and a very vanilla sock with a little bit of slip stitch on the heel, which hopefully will make it a bit more sturdy. And these socks are identical, and they're done. There isn't much to say about them other than, and this is how much I have left from the 100-gram skein that I had. And I think if I stripe it with something else, I can probably have another pair of shorty socks or something. That's all I wanted to say about these ones, and I have finished another pair. Actually, it was easy because one of the socks was already finished and I've showed it to you a long time ago. But now I have 2. They are not matching at all. but I don't mind. For me, socks are something that I knit when I don't want to think. And this is me not giving much. I didn't care if they match. I didn't care if they have the same heel or whatever. But this is a beautiful yarn from Darn It New Zealand called Licorice All Sorts, and obviously it is inspired by this candy that we have here in New Zealand. I'm not sure if you have it there, but it's this licorice sweetie which comes in this beautiful yellow, green and orange colors. And I loved making these socks, although they are really out of my comfort zone. The colors, I never knitted anything with yellow or orange for that matter, or this bright green. But I really like knitting them. Only thing is I should have chosen smaller needles because these are going to stretch as well, and they might end up on my husband's feet because he always likes a pair of new socks, and if they stretch a lot and they're too loose for me, I'll have to gift it to him. And now I think the spotlight of this episode, I wanted to before that, I'm going to keep you waiting a little bit. I will talk about my third finished object, which is an amazing, beautiful thing, and I'm so excited that I finished. It's just finished blocking. But before that, I wanted to chat with you a little bit about what we've been up to. Today is the 5th of November. Actually, it's Guy Fawkes night. So here in New Zealand, around evening time, there are going to be lots of fireworks, I believe. And it's very interesting. When I was little and I was at school learning English, we were made to memorize this poem about the remember the 5th of November, the day of the Guy Fawkes night, something. I can't remember it very well, but I remember that it was the 5th of November, that it was the Guy Fawkes night. And little did I know that one day I'll be in a country where they actually celebrate it. Just to draw you a picture, I come from a very big, more than 1 million people industrial city, and we were lucky to have very intense English program in our school, but not very many schools in Russia had such intense English courses, and I actually feel very lucky that I went to that school and I had such great teachers that actually maybe because of them I'm where I am and I do what I do, and I've become a teacher of English as well. Sorry about the noise if you hear it. Today's Thursday and it's the day when the garbage is collected in our area, and I really wanted to do a podcast today because tomorrow and the other day I'm very, very busy, and today's Thursday and Saturday is the day when we have a fair, and I will tell you about that later as well. So in this couple of weeks, me and my family, we went to various places, and I wanted to, since you welcomed my idea of sharing this little scenery of New Zealand, the places that we go to, I decided to make a little footage of that, and I will share it with you if you don't mind. If you are not interested in that, you can skip to the part where I talk about my next finished objects. So I went with another family of ours, which are friends, to Long Bay, which is a beautiful, beautiful long beach with amazing sand, and it was a very hot day, which felt like summer already. And we went there with our daughter and this family who have 2 children, and I have a tiny video of my daughter Lydia chasing some ducks that were in that park, and I think I might even have a video of her and pukiakos, which are these native New Zealand birds, which are so funny, and it's amazing that you can see them just outside. You don't have to go to the zoo or to any special forests or anything. They're just everywhere in the open areas, and I love it that you can see such rare birds so easily. So we spent a lovely, lovely day there at the beach, and my daughter enjoyed playing in the sand, and it was so lovely to... she's at the age, she's going to be 2 years old this month, and it's amazing how more independent she is and how much more she can do, and she's showing her character right now. She's very quick to show what she wants and what she doesn't want. For example, she loves to be independent and put on her own clothes or take them off, or she really made me laugh the other day. We were going to bed and I put her in her bed and I was going to just like caress her like that and go to my bed, and she said, "Mom, come back, where are you going?" And she said it in such a manner, and I realized that this is how I talk to her. And it sounded so funny coming from her little mouth. And she's so tiny and she's already like bossy. It's so funny. So yeah, we went to the beach. We also went to the park, our favorite park nearby. It's a shepherd's park where we like to go sometimes to this beautiful playground, and there are many, many people who walk their dogs. It's just a lovely open space, helps you clear your head and having some nice fresh air if you want to go somewhere close. We also visited... I actually went on one of those days. I'm still very nervous about the fair that's coming. So on the 7th of November, very soon, I'm going to be selling my own yarn for the first time at our general meeting for the Creative Fiber general meeting gathering. And I went to one of our stores to prepare for it and to buy some maybe shelves to display the yarn. And I couldn't help it, and I really love all the little flowers that they had there, and I had to buy a few of them. So I thought that maybe some of you would be interested in the flowers that we have in our stores. I have just a tiny bit of footage of that as well for you. It's early in the morning and I decided to pop into our Bunnings warehouse shop where you can buy all kinds of... Actually, I came here to find some shelving for the market, but I also couldn't resist coming here and checking out some plants. And I wanted to show you some of these. This is supposedly some heavy weedy mist, New Zealand native hybrid. And all these plants are so cute. Just wanted to bring you some of that spring vibe to everyone who is not in our area. They're tiny, but they're so pretty. Oh, I just love flowers. I picked up this number, which is, I don't know if I can pronounce this thing, Hydrangea Alpenglut, and this sweet smelling thing. Smells delicious. Also, we have some tomatoes, which I'm trying to grow from a seed, and I'm gonna show you some more flowers. Look at this one, so pretty. And the roses. See the roses? What is that? I've never seen a flower like that. Wow. I need it in my life, but I don't think I should spend any more money. Oh, these smell delicious. Oh, it reminds me of my childhood. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, I'll go back to my trolley and I'll see you at home. So they were already, it was even before, I visited it before Halloween, but they already had all the Christmas decorations. And you know, it's very interesting to see Christmas decorations which are traditional snowmen and Santa in like coat and things like that, and snowflakes, when everybody knows that here in December it's going to be super hot and everybody's going to wear just shorts, dresses and short sleeve t-shirts. it's always funny to see the houses decorated with like snowmen made of lights, or a sled with Santa, or things like that, reindeers, when everybody, maybe people didn't even see snow, you know? Or maybe that's what I think. But anyways, all I'm saying is that I miss snow and I miss white December and white Christmas. My daughter really likes this one book. Let me show it to you since it's right here. It's this gorgeous little book, Little Blue Trucks Christmas, and at the end of this book there are these twinkling lights which she loves. It's so hard for me to explain what is snow to her, and it says December here, but for us December is going to be total opposite. It's going to be green, 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 and too hot. And we are going to have some Christmas tree, but it's not going to be decorated with snow or anything like that. So yeah, I'm still getting used to celebrating New Year here. Okay, now I know probably talked too much about the knitting, unrelated to knitting stuff, so I will probably go back to knitting before you all escape and think that I'm talking about nonsense. This next object that I want to share with you is the Slipstravaganza shawl by Stephen West. It is a mystery knit-along that started on the 9th of October. And the mystery knit-along, for those of you who don't know, is a pattern that you have no idea what it's going to be like. The only thing you know before you start is how many meters of yarn you need, but maybe what kind of yarn you need, and sort of a vague idea about what the colors you need. And all I knew that this was going to be a shawl, and I had no idea what shape it's going to be, how the colors are going to interchange, and I had no idea that it was going to be so much fun. I got so excited that I sometimes woke up at 4 or 5 in the morning because I wanted to knit on it, and the next clue was up, and I was like, no, I have to wake up, I want to knit, I want to see what's the next clue and what it is. So anyways, if you are knitting this shawl, a Slipstravaganza by Stephen West, this is a spoiler alert. If you don't want to see what the finished object looks like, look away. This is my Slipstravaganza shawl, sort of soaking right now. And this is some of that gorgeous colorway that everyone liked. That is, I dyed yesterday. Today was a very crazy day. In the morning, my daughter managed to stick up a little bead up her nose, and we had to rush to one emergency after another. They couldn't help us in the first hospital, and then when we got to the second hospital, like 3 hours later, the nurse was so helpful. She actually told me to breathe into her mouth and close the other nostril, and the bead just came out just like that. But imagine, it was super, super stressful. But thankfully after that, I came home. Lydia was fine, she fell asleep, and I managed to finish this gorgeousness. And now I'm going to soak it a little bit, and then I will stretch it out on the blocking mats, and I will show it to you in all its beauty. But I know that you want to see, and I'm going to show you. Isn't it huge? It is not just huge, it's absolutely fantastic. And I have to say that I am very happy that this is the shape that he chose, because I love it. I love how it drapes. I can probably show you some pictures of me blocking it, because it will be easier to see all of it, because obviously it doesn't fit into the screen right now. So let me go through the stages of this. This is a honeycomb, which has this main color and stripes of color 1 and 2, which in my case are this green stripes with some white speckly yarn. And these are all my hand-dyed yarns, Strawberry Patches yarns. This was the second clue, and this was the slip stitches of main color and the third color. Then we had this diamond section. You can see the diamonds with alternating color 1, color 2, and color 3, and again color 1, 2, 3, and 1. The next part was this, I forgot how he calls these things, but they're this beautiful slip stitches again in third color. And then this was the most interesting part. There were some triangles. So at this point I had a shawl with these triangles, and all the stitches were here, and I had to break the yarn and start at every of these triangles. There were so many ends that I cut. Just to give you the idea, these are all my ends, and they are very short, and these are how many of them. So thankfully Steven is very smart, and he gives you a tip on how to do the Steven weaving method, where you weave in the ends as you go along. So when I've cast off my shawl, I had to just trim them. They were all woven in, because if I had to weave them in, I would probably cry, because I was so ready to finish it and wear it. I was so excited. Where was I? After these triangles, we did this chevron border, which I did the short version because by this time the rows were about 950 stitches, or between 900 and 160 whatever stitches, and I just spent maybe 1 hour on each row, one way and 1 hour the other way. So this is how many hours I spent on this shawl. And then of course the never-ending I-cord bind off, which looks fantastic, and I do not regret doing it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and look, it gives such a nice finish to it. Okay, what I can say about this knit along, by the way, let me show you how I think he suggests to wear it. First of all, look how big and cozy it is. And this is probably how I would wear it. I'm so glad that it's not hot today, so I can wear my woolies and show you, and maybe show off my beautiful shawl, because if it was hot I probably would have to put the AC on. So yes, I have to say that mystery knit alongs, for me, I would do it again next year for sure. I trust Steven so much. He built up all the anticipation. He explained every little detail of the pattern with utmost, the best way possible. And he was very helpful. I direct messaged him about my color choice, and he wrote to me, yes, this would work, which I'm sure he was bombarded with all the other messages, but he still found the time to help me with my choice of colors, because of course for mystery knit along, it's hard to envision what colors, how they interact. And the other thing that I found about mystery knit alongs is I get so competitive, and it's so stressful. Literally, I slept very little this last couple of weeks, because when I saw somebody finishing their section before me, I was like, I cannot believe it, they did it before me. And of course, we're all in different situations, and some people have children, some people don't, some people work, some people stay at home, some people travel. We cannot all knit at the same speed. But I felt like, no, I have to be the first. I have to finish it. I have to post the next clue picture and everything. And I got so stressed yesterday that I was almost like, oh, I have to finish today or I will die. So yeah, I was very happy to finish it. And I'm going to wear it on Saturday at the fair, which I think will be a very nice thing to do, because everybody will be able to see how my hand-dyed yarn looks knit up in all various combinations with other yarn, because here I will show you what colors I chose. So this one is my, I forgot what I called it, maybe strawberry, maybe cherry, the pink that I dyed up. And these were my 3 contrast colors, and this is how much I have left. I could have totally done the longer border. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the watermelon colorway, which is all this beautiful green with some parts that are white and pink. And you can't really tell, but it's just a little bit here and there, a little bit of pink. You can see better on these triangle parts. So yeah, I hope that this will inspire other knitters to make this shawl, and I really hope nobody will get mad at me for just, showing it so early, because I know that some people haven't really finished even half of it, but I'm going to risk it. I'm still going to go to the fair and wear it. Because it's my first time, I want to make a good impression and maybe an unforgettable impression. Oh, I'm really nervous. So if you come there to the fair on the 7th of November and you see me, and just come say hi, because it's always lovely to talk to you and to see feedback. I will probably get shy, but maybe not. I absolutely loved, for example, how you all answered me in the previous episodes, and I wanted to thank Joanne from Auckland and Elena from Dunedin, New Zealand, and Shannon, actually 2 Shannons. One was from Auckland, another one I have no idea. Anastasia from UK, Courtney from Canada, Zencha from Croatia, Elena from Auckland, and Laura from Australia, Jane from San Diego, Lisa from Marblehead, Massachusetts, and Barbara from UK, Sue from Takanini, Lisa from Oidao, USA, and Rosemary from Minnesota. All of you who messaged me and commented on the previous episode, I thank you so much. It made my heart warm, you really made my day every day that I received your messages, and I really love this. And today as well, I want to just tell me, how are you doing? How are you getting on in these times? Like, we are lucky here in Auckland that we are at low risk now, and you don't see that many people wearing masks anymore. Everybody's very cautious, but still we are allowed to have these gatherings now, like weddings or markets or going and celebrating Halloween. I think we are so privileged and lucky, and for that I'm very grateful. Well, there are pluses and minuses of living so far away from the rest of the world, I guess. So I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, by the way, if you want to ask me about my personal life, go ahead and ask maybe something about my childhood, my background, my knitting preferences, or my favorite colors, or my favorite patterns. I would love to answer to all of those questions. I have a bit of not funny, but a different kind of video coming up that I was inspired when I was talking to my friend Liana, who is a wonderful toy crocheter that I keep talking to you about. Hi, Liana. And yeah, if you have any other suggestions about what you want me to talk about, I would love to hear them. Also, in this episode, I would like to recommend some other podcasters, and I will talk to you about them because as I told you, I've been knitting a lot, and sometimes I would wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I had about 1 or 2 hours in the morning for myself, and I was watching all these wonderful people who inspired me to do different things, and I actually found a couple of new friends like that. Yes, one of them that I want to mention is Nicole. She's a Canadian knitter. She has a podcast called The Gentle Knitter, and I know that many other podcasters recommend her, and for a good reason. She is really a very gentle person, and her color choice and her soothing voice and the things she talked about are really gentle, really. So if you want some, it's like, not classical music, but some really calm and beautiful music to accompany your knitting or your project, whatever you're making, go and visit her YouTube channel. You will love it. Another person I've just recently discovered, I think it was through Lerge from the Fiber Tales podcast. She recommended Inge, who is a podcaster behind the Knitting Traditions. And this beautiful girl, she lives in Norway, and she's a doctor and a model. She doesn't say it on the YouTube channel, but she told it to me in the comments. Anyways, she's this gorgeous girl who has been knitting since she was little, and obviously she is having grown in such a country that knits a lot and cold climate. She's done amazing things. She's knitted amazing things, and she's very new to her. She has only like 6 podcasts, I think, but they're really worth watching, and I really recommend. It was really interesting to find her. Another Nicole that I've encountered through internet suggestions was Nicole from the Time Weaver. Yes, the Time Weaver. She lives in Spain, and she has a podcast in both English and Spanish languages, and she recently even interviewed Christy Glass, which was very interesting to watch. Usually Christy interviews everyone, but this time she was interviewed, so that was quite interesting to watch. So Nicole, I have only started watching her, and I haven't watched all of her episodes, but she mostly interviews makers. And not all of them are knitters. Some of them are like herbalists or yoga instructors or things like that. Very interesting people. And I think it's a different kind of format of podcasts, which is quite entertaining as well. But the person that I really, really want to recommend to you, which I think we kind of became friends now, is Anastasia. I very briefly mentioned her in the previous podcast, but I have to talk to her about her in more detail to you. First of all, Anastasia is this gorgeous girl from Germany who lives in UK with her partner, and she's an amazing color work artist, I would say. She has lived in Iceland for some time, and she really loves those Icelandic wools, and she has made, I forgot what it's called, the sweater that she's made. It was featured in Christy Glass's Tell Me About Your Rhinebeck sweater, this beautiful golden color work sweater that she sticked, and it's become a cardigan. It's absolutely gorgeous. So me and Anastasia started talking a little bit because I saw how friendly she is, and we started messaging on Instagram, and this makes me so happy that, some people like Christy Glass, you see her so popular, so many subscribers, and I don't know, I would be kind of scared to approach her and to talk to her, because for me, in my head, like Stephen West, she's such a celebrity. Although we have the same passion and she does seem friendly, but I would be scared of her maybe. But with Anastasia, it was so easy to talk to. She was so easy to talk to. She's very friendly, and I love her ideas. I love her aesthetics of her, of the way she makes the video. She chooses the lights beautifully, and the background, and what she's wearing, her color choice, and this beautiful, beautiful yellow cardigan that she made looks so good on her, like it was made for her, and I just cannot imagine anyone else wearing it as good as she does. So yeah, we decided to do a little bit of a mystery yarn swatch, kind of little, yarn swap kind of thing, and I have exactly the color that I have in mind for her, that I want to send to her. So that will be exciting, and I hope to do it soon. I just have to go through the fair, and hopefully that will all go well. And of course I will do some footage for you guys who cannot come, so that you see my nervous face and I will tell you how it went. But after that, I am planning to send her a little something. So Anastasia, wait for it. Right, now I think I'm going to talk about, the works in progress. I cannot believe it's been half an hour and I haven't shown you what I'm working on at the moment. So I told you that I wanted to make a wedding garter for my sister because she's getting married soon. And I'm making it with this, what is it? Milford satin. It's 100% double mercerized cotton in 2-ply. Oopsie. Yeah, I don't know if it means anything to you, but it's number 5, whatever that means. And I've only started, and I can tell you that with this hook 1.4, it's super hard to make progress. And this is row 3, and oh my god, it's so tiny it's so hard to work on it, but I love the way this yarn looks. It's beautiful. And my sister, I talked to her when I was in the yarn shop, and I asked her if she wanted the off-white or cream colored or the white garter, and she said she wanted the cream one. So that's good. Next thing I'm making is the Morning Sky by Heidi Kermeyer. Today is the 28th of October 2020, Wednesday, and I have been thinking all morning about what to cast on because my Slipstravaganza shawl, I finished knitting the clue that I know, and I have to wait until Saturday morning because this is when usually Stephen West, this is the morning in Amsterdam, and that's when we get the clue. So anyways, I had something, I didn't have anything else on the needles, so I wanted to cast on something. And I remembered that I have this gorgeous yarn from Revive Designs, which is finger in weight merino silk. It's absolutely amazing, and I right now am wearing the rose cardigan that I knit out of it. And right now I decided that I have to cast on something else. Excuse the background, this is Miss Lydia's playing zone, like the rest of the house. So I decided that I'm going to cast on this gorgeous piece. It's the Morning Sky by Heidi Kermeyer, and although it's for it's designed for sport weight or DK, I think the gauge, I can meet the gauge because she wants it to be very dense fabric, and I like the fabric I measured on this cardigan. I like it. So I decided that I'm going to use the same needles as I did for my rose cardigan, and decided to wind up some of this gorgeous, lovely, speckly, look at all these gorgeous speckles. Well, the color doesn't do it justice, but yes, today the cast on date. Yay, excited. Working with this yarn when I was working on the cardigan, and I'm so happy that I have more to make, enough to make another kind of a t-shirt thing. So this top is worked bottom up, and I'm at the very beginning. It has this kind of lacy edge, and it's like this little seashells on top of each other, and then it's plain stockinette, and there's a seashell kind of a yoke detail here. So yeah, it's a nice pattern, and it's a pleasure to knit with this gorgeous 4-ply merino silk. Love it. So yes, now the last, maybe not the last, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna tell you a bit more about something else. I wanted to show you, so I spent the whole day of printing and labeling all my yarn, and turns out I have about 10 kilograms of yarn dyed. That means 100 skeins. Although while I was labeling it and taking pictures, 2 were sold right away. But anyway, still I have a lot, and they all live in this wonderful containers. So all I wanted to show you is how they look. This is my logo, and this is how I write all the details on. I hope it's not mirrored like I see it. I hope you see it properly. But anyways, for example, this is Yellow Rose on organic and Polworth, on organic merino and Polworth 4-ply. and it's 338 meters. This is a non-superwash yarn, and it's a bit harder to dye up, but it has a really, really lovely, squishy feeling to it. And this is more of the same base. This one is called Mother's Kiss. I really love this pink. It's like a little bit like, maybe not. No, this is a bit darker, but still I love this pink. This is a different base. This one is non-superwash DK with 80% fawn colored merino and 20% white alpaca. So this double knitted yarn it looks a little bit brown before you dye it. That's why you see this heathered effect. But I think it looks absolutely gorgeous when you dye it up. There is more on the same base, and this is my cherry colorway. Oh, is it upside down? So you can see that actually you can't really tell when I show it like that it was a bit brown before I dyed it up. But there's one more. And some more. And more and more. Yeah. I really love this olive green color. It looks a little bit lighter on the screen, but this is my fern colorway. And this beautiful tealy color, I called it Sky. I cannot explain why, but I just thought that this is what it should be called. It's really hard to come up with names, like all unique names for this 100 skeins. So sometimes the names that I give are maybe not the best choice. But yeah, look at these squishy babies. I'm really excited to bring them to you on the 7th of November, and hopefully when the website that my husband is working on is open, you probably can order them. And I'm really, really working hard to figure out how to make international shipping possible. So hopefully that will happen too. This. I'm actually very tempted to knit this and shawl a little bit of yellow. I know yellow is not my color. No, not my color. Although I really like it, and turns out it's really popular these days. I have lots of people asking for it and saying that they love it. It's not my color, unfortunately. But maybe if I incorporate like a little bit of it into a shawl or color work, then maybe I can still enjoy knitting with it. Yes, it took me a whole day to label all of them, and I managed to do it. And now I'm all ready to come and see you all wearing my beautiful shawl, this amazing design. And I'm very happy to answer all of your questions and to share my passion for knitting with you. Right now I am looking for more patterns, for about something to knit in the summer. I have some ideas after I finish the Morning Sky. I think it will not take very long, considering that this difficult pattern took me just 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks maybe. I think that will be potato chippy. But I'm always on the lookout for beautiful summer projects. And if you have knitted any that you enjoyed wearing, because I see some people who talk about their summer knits and then they say, oh, I knitted this, but I don't know why, but I haven't worn it. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't have time to knit something that I wouldn't wear. So yeah, I would love to hear suggestions from you. And I love it that you share with me that you're working on test knits, or you're working on some presents for Christmas, or some charity knitting. I love to hear all about that. And this is how I find out about new patterns. There are so many that it's hard to overlook some gorgeous designs. Actually, just today I found an interesting designer, a Russian one. This is what caught my attention. But no, actually her design caught my attention. Her name is Ludmila. I cannot remember the name right now off the top of my head. I've put the link below. And she has this gorgeous summer top that I actually, I put it in my basket on Ravelry, and I will see if I find the perfect yarn for it, I will buy it and make it. Because I think speaking, you know, when everybody speaks about diversity and this and that and inclusivity, I think that it's not about that all lives matter, but also about the voice of different nationalities. You know, it's an English-speaking community, but we all come from different backgrounds and different countries. And I think it's interesting to find or introduce to all of you something that comes from my culture, like this Ludmila designer who has done amazing patterns. Let's see if I decide to knit on that, and I will probably show more about it in the next episode. I think that's all I wanted to share. I thought this was going to be a short episode, but again, I've been talking too much, I think. I hope you forgive me, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I really, really hope that you liked and enjoyed my company, and I hope to see you in the next episode, which I will do shortly, because I'm planning to devote all the next episode to the yarn fair. Hopefully tell you about the other yarn dyers, indie dyers that are going to be there. There's going to be about 14 of us. Imagine all the talented people in one room with all our gorgeous yarn. I will be so tempted to buy something from other indie dyers. Oh, they will probably have some nice mohair, and I really, really have been wanting to make some projects with mohair, especially the ranunculus or something like that. So I might be telling you about my purchases next time. Anyways, if you are here in Auckland, come see me. And if not, I will tell you all about it in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and until next time, love from New Zealand. Bye bye.